If the walls of the Library of Congress could talk, they'd tell you some of the greatest stories in history. It is the largest library in the world, with more than 170 million books, documents, and literary treasures.
In its 222-year history, Dr. Carla Hayden is the first woman and African-American appointed to lead the National Library. She was a delightful guest on our podcast and invited my dad and me back, this time with cameras.
So you've never seen this room?
No, I've never seen this room. This whole morning is going to be like a very nerdy literature Christmas for me.
And the library's main reading room is incredible.
Welcome, welcome.
How nice to see you.
Welcome. This is the main reading room, 1897.
125 years old now?
125 years old. And look at it. It is magnificent. It inspires people. They sit here and there's a sense of calm. It's different from your neighborhood library. You get that sense of majesty.
You still get goosebumps when you walk in here?
Yes, every time.
Dr. Hayden also offered us a rare glimpse at some of America's most historic pieces.
We call it the good silver.
Oh, good.
This is the Lincoln inaugural bark. First used on the occasion of the inauguration of Abraham Lincoln, 16th president. And interesting enough, and you can hold it.
I can?
Not for long. Not for long.
Oh my God.
And you notice that we don't have the white gloves on,
No.
but this is what he held. And actually,
I'm holding, I just held something
they
Lincoln
actually-
touched.
Wow.
here, though, is the part. The contents of Abraham Lincoln's pockets the night he was assassinated.
Oh my
Oh my
goodness.
God.
You see a Confederate dollar bill, 2 pairs of spectacles,
And
a pocket knife,
And a monogrammed handkerchief.
monogrammed, A. Lincoln.
Deep underground is the library's conservation lab, where original documents like Lincoln's handwritten Gettysburg Address are protected and preserved.
The nation shall have a new birth of freedom. The government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. In pencil. Perhaps the most important speech ever delivered in America. In Lincoln's precise handwriting, and some of it on simple notebook paper.
And Lincoln's second inaugural address. Again, handwritten first, but then printed out by the government printing office. Dr. Michelle Crowell is the library's Lincoln expert.
You can see Lincoln's made a script for himself, and then he's literally cut and pasted these sections, probably to pace himself, to know where to stop for emphasis. Both parties deprecated war, but one of them would make war rather than let the nation survive, and the other would accept war rather than let it perish. And the war came.
You know, I've only seen these documents inscribed in marble on the side of the Lincoln Memorial.
Exactly.
The library is in the process of digitizing 61 million items, so everyone can view these documents on the LOC website.
Our podcast, though, is about reading. And so, authors' original manuscripts, well, they've got those too.
Here you have Walt Whitman, and the library has a
Yeah.
Walt Whitman collection.
Yeah.
Captain, oh Captain.
Yeah, one of his poems. I've heard of that one.
And you can see his notations and crossouts. And that's another thing with the original documents and the crossouts. You see the process of creation. What intrigues young people the most when you're showing them original documents and things are the crossouts.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And saying, oh, well, this is a famous person and this is what they did, but they changed things, they crossed out, yes. And then, speaking of good silver,
Yeah.
the collection.
Oh,
and
Ralph Ellison.
Ralph Ellison,
Yeah. Yeah.
Invisible Man.
Yeah.
And he starts, I am Invisible Man.
I see what I
Things.
presume is a first edition of Charlotte's Web.
It's one of the most requested and best loved children's books ever.
And when I left Good Morning America, my gift was a signed copy of Charlotte's Web, which they told me cost more than my salary.
Yes.
I actually think if the house was on fire when I was little, he probably would have taken the book before his child. I'm just saying.
And there's the signature.
There's a signature you write. Carla, this is really special.
This is
really special.
This is so cool. This has been one of the most amazing mornings of my life.